Hi there, thanks for the invitation from the Rev for another little piece from me for this event, having done one for the last one where we focused a little bit on the way we fit the car in with the family and the way it becomes something that we all take part in at the weekends. We have our weekends away and everybody's really the part of the whole family is part of the event. I just was asked to go over a little bit more about the reasons behind buying the car, apart from being a fan, and also the sort of family connection and why this car really. So very quickly, as I mentioned in my last one, the reason I got into cars and things like that is through my father. He rallied in the 60s and 70s and kind of stopped when my brother and I were children. Stopped competing, but was still involved in events and chairman of the local motor club and clerk of the course on some events and things like that. So we spent a lot of our time going to events in the same way that I now do the same with our family and our children. We go to events, and so I grew up around events really, and as well as the local scene, we did go and watch some of the bigger events. And my love for a 6R4 came from going to see the RAC at Clipston and just hearing those normally aspirated engines, such a different sound compared with the others, all the supercharged and turbocharged cars. That for me, that was the noise for me, and that was the car that was my favourite. And when we were then watching rallycross, effectively once the Group B cars had been banned in rallying, the 6R4s came to the front. They were a very popular car for that, and also very well known with Will Gollop winning the European Championship, and very famous driver, and obviously right at the front there in a 6R4. So fast forward into 2015, that was when I finally got the stars to align and got the chance to buy a 6R4, and it's this one here. We checked out the history on it just to make sure its numbers matched and everything like that, and it was going to be what it was advertised as, and went and purchased it with a friend of mine. He actually is a former 6R4 owner, and so around the year 2000 I'd got a run in his car, and that really was the catalyst for me spending the next 15 years trying to buy a car. And on the day we went to buy it, Colin Casey, he came with me. He drove me up there and towed it back with me, and he's still not forgiven me for deciding I wasn't going to buy it and letting him have it, because I know he would have bought it on the day if he could have. But Colin's having a tough time at the minute. He's got a few health problems and he's getting some treatment, and we're all wishing him well, and we look forward to seeing him when it's safe for him to be back out and coming out to see us and coming to events and things like that. So going back to this car and the family really, as I said, my father took us to Clipston to see the RAC, and that's where I first came across the 6R4. And then obviously we grew up then watching rallycross and on Grandstand and on Wildersport and most weekends, and Will Gollop was there up at the front, along with many other 6R4s, but Will was the name that stuck in my mind. And so 2015 came, and I bought the car, and I knew it was a bit of a restoration project, but it would always be drivable and usable. So we've been taking it to quite a few events as we've gone along, and I just put my company logo on for my own little business, and went along from there, always with the plan to restore it back to an original livery once the restoration work on the actual bodywork and the mechanicals and things was done. So that was the plan really, and I spent between 2015 and 2020 trying to piece together the whole history of the car, and as it unravelled, it just became more mind-blowing almost at times. The second owner of this vehicle was Will Gollop, a childhood hero who I'd watched competing in one of these cars. The car itself had competed in the Birmingham Super Prix, which we'd been to an event again. We went to as a family, something that Dad would have taken my brother and myself and my mum to, And so it kind of transpired actually that when I was aged 16 in 1988, I'd seen this car race at the Birmingham Super Prix, and that really became the instant choice for delivery. And so we looked around and had to find some logos and found as many pictures as we could to put that livery back. And then sadly during lockdown in April we lost my dad, and we had a bit of a tough time there, and as you can tell, it still puts a lump in your throat. So anyway, whilst during lockdown then, at that time, that was the catalyst to make this car back to something that I'd seen with my dad. And so the livery was put together during lockdown, and that became our little project for the family. And so we spent 2 or 3 months, until around August, I think it was, in the end, when we'd finished it. But we put this car back to a livery that now kind of completes the circle. And I saw it at age 16 with my dad, who got me into cars, and it's now back as we saw it at that event, and it's now going on with my family and my children to create new memories and new adventures and days out and family time with them, and it's going to continue to do that for a long time, because it's certainly not something now that we really would consider parting with. It's just too close to the heart now. That's enough rambling from me. Earlier this week I was out at a media day for a historic rally event in Telford in October, subject to restrictions and things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to a little bit of in-car footage. It's from a RAC stage on Weston Park, including a water splash. Again, something that in my wildest dreams I never thought I would go and take a car to and drive down that sort of stage. So the opportunity came there to go and be part of the media day and have some fun in the car, and another bucket list box ticked, really. So some in-car footage for you to enjoy, some clips of some of the other Group B cars that were on the day, and hopefully you've enjoyed this time, and a little insight into why a 6R4 and why this one is so precious to us and me and my family. Thank you.
It is narrow. It's not, even on the gravelly bits where you've got all these cars, look at the different wheelbases, the different sizes, so you get grooves, and down that straight you used to. So a little car like an Astra, you're sitting on top, whereas at a bigger car with a Cosy or something like that, you're just sitting in the grooves. And then this grass is really slippery. You get, we used to do it all, don't forget, on gravel tyres.
Yes.
So
you have to do it on gravel tyres.
Exactly.
There's a slick over there.
No, exactly.
After 10 cars, all the grass is on the road.
Yeah, but even on gravel tyres on that grass, you'd go a long way if you go off. So it's one to be neat and tidy. You're not going to win the RAC rally being fastest on this stage, and I don't think I ever was.
hope you enjoyed the footage from in car there, and after all that fun in the water splash, not much left to do apart from get stuck into washing it.